I am very afraid. But I'm less afraid for myself and more afraid for other LGBT Bahamians that do not have as much privilege as I have. Right? Fortunately, I live in a house where I can control when the door opens and when it closes. There are many Bahamians that do not have this type of security in their lives. And so I fear greatly for those Bahamians that may be attacked by other Bahamians that have been incited to act by irresponsible social and religious and political leaders.
Director of Advocacy for Sosh Bahamas, Greene, is not taking too kindly to what she calls the latest round of attack on her community by Bahamas Faith Ministries International President Dr. Myles Munroe, whose passionate speech blasting the LGBT community made the rounds this weekend. In it, Dr. Munroe says the fact that hundreds of Bahamians and foreigners were allowed to host and participate in a gay pride event in Grand Bahama over the weekend is nothing more than a celebration of insanity, and accused homosexuals of contributing to the extinction of the human race. Ms. Greene says the way in which Dr. Munroe approaches this conversation and attempts to use Bahamian strong religious convictions to convince them to act in these ways is dangerous and borders on violence.
This is the most important part of the conversation and certainly something that Mr. Munroe should be very aware of. Although we don't have any specific anti-hate speech legislation in the country, those that speak with the intention of or with the consequence of inciting violence against members of the LGBT community are committing a crime, and they will be held accountable. And for people that use their social capital to make statements, but then to act as if their statements hold no weight in the community, they should hold themselves responsible for every act of violence.
Dr. Munroe questions the LGBT's mission or goals, but notes that they obviously have received enough incentive and motivation to attempt something that he says 90% of the Bahamas and Bahamians consider unacceptable and violates their collective convictions, moral standing, and values.
He is creating an environment in which Bahamians think it is their Christian or moral duty to annihilate homosexuality and to wipe it off of the face of the earth. This is dangerous. It is dangerous to the level of treasonous, because we are talking about inciting violence against citizens and visitors to a country.
The LGBT activist says in recent times she's received numerous complaints and reports from those in her community of being physically attacked for their lifestyles, but she says some police officers have refused to offer assistance.